Well, well, well. Jake Paul chins another ex-UFC fighter. On today's video, we're going to recap Jake Paul versus Mike Perry, and we're also going to recap UFC Vegas 94, Lemos versus Jandiroba. We'll talk about all of the UFC fights, and then we'll jump to the Jake Paul fight. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe it up. Let's start it off with the first fight of the evening. It was Thomas Petersen versus Usman. Thomas Petersen had a great performance, and he outstruck Mohammed Usman en route to a clear win. But Usman also had a really bad performance. He looked as flat as I ever saw him. His feet looked like clunky and off balance. He couldn't really sit on his shots. I think there was some type of pre-fight injury. This is going to be a bit of like an MMA conspiracy that I'm pushing out right now. But the odds went from Usman as a slight favorite all week to Usman as an underdog leading up to the fight. There's something behind the scenes that we don't know that went down, and money was passed around onto the Petersen side. He 30-27'd Mohammed Usman. He looked better than he did against Jamal Pogue. So a good win for Petersen. He's showing evolution. He's young for heavyweight at 29. I still think he's undersized. I don't think he's challenging for a belt. But you know what? I got to put a little respect on his name. Petersen outstruck Usman where Usman was supposed to have the edge, where Usman's supposed to be the power puncher. And he also landed some takedowns at the right moments. So overall, I got to give respect and credit. Thomas Petersen got a good win. For Usman, it's a rough loss, man. The heavyweight Ultimate Fighter winners, besides like Big Country Roy Nelson, tend to do pretty bad in the UFC. It's a consistent trend. And I guess with Usman, unfortunately, no different. Let's get to the next fight. Luana Carolina, Lucie Pudilová. I think this was Luana Carolina's best UFC fight, period. Let me pop out the Zyn pouch. Luana Carolina striking in the first round, on point. Beat Pudilová up. She looked way faster, way cleaner. It was honestly pretty great. She looked less clunky than I've ever seen. Like normally those chicken wings really come out. She was actually flapping like a bird. That wasn't happening. She was more precise, man. She was more tight with her shots. Second round was closer. Pudilová had some moments, and then Carolina secured the fight with the third round. Honestly, Luana Carolina, I have been harsh on in the past, but she's come together, man. She's got a good little style. She's gritty. She's got a decent gas tank. She's got good volume. She's awkward with her striking. She's long, too. She's got speed on her. She beat Lupe Godinez at one point. So to go out and beat Lucie Pudilová, not the biggest win of her career, but it was kind of like a breakout performance because she showed some evolution that I didn't even think she was capable of. So respect to Luana Carolina. Pudilová, 3-8 in the UFC, I believe. Probably getting her walking papers. Maybe they keep her around for one more if they want to be nice, but she's probably on Schitt's Creek. Next fight on the card, Trey Ogden, Loik Radzhabov. This was a good win for Trey Ogden here, but it, wasn't without Radzhabov having moments. So let me explain the fight to you if you didn't see it. First round, Trey Ogden bodied Loik Radzhabov, controlled on the ground for the whole round, right? Second round, Loik Radzhabov landed some bombs in the early stage of the second round. And then towards the second half, Trey Ogden takes him down, controls, dominates from top position. So close round in a sense, but Ogden finished very strong and in dominant position. At one point, it looked like Radzhabov was giving up, letting Trey Ogden mount him. How do you score that? Do you score it just off the strikes from the early stage, or do you score it off the control and, sequences of attempted finishes by submission for Ogden on the floor? I thought you kind of give it to Ogden. Round 3, Ogden's dominating most of the round, but late, Radzhabov ends up on top. He's dropping some big ground and pound. The commentary's going crazy and confusing you because, bro, 2 to 3 of, the 12 shots that Radzhabov threw actually landed. So I get how people could feel maybe Radzhabov late steals it, but still have to account for Ogden dominating the majority of the round. We're not in the Pride FC. Finishing the fight on top doesn't erase everything that happened prior. damage trumps all, but there really wasn't much damage even from a Radzhabov in top position. So Ogden getting the win, I thought made sense. I don't think that's a robbery. Ogden is the runt of the OVs. Of all the fighters with the OV last name, Radzhabov's the runt of the litter. Good win for Trey. Next fight on the card, Miranda Maverick, Dione Barbosa. For me, this was the chalky locky, and she didn't let me down. Perfect prediction. I was happy as hell. Miranda Maverick was pretty clean with the win, landed some decent punches on the inside, some key takedowns, getting on top of Barbosa, stifling Barbosa's game. Listen, Miranda Maverick has been fighting high-level opposition for a long time, and she's also a lot younger than Barbosa. I thought that was the obvious tell for her winning. And then add into that, Barbosa stepped in on short notice in the biggest fight of her life, 2 weeks' notice. Maverick was training for Tracy Cortez, who just fought against Thug Rose. There's a level difference. But it's not like Barbosa didn't have a decent showing. She had okay striking moments. Her jiu-jitsu's good, but here's the key. Here's the kicker, I should say. She's jiu-jitsu minded. She allowed Maverick on top of her late in the fight. Instead of scrambling to get top position and fighting like hell for it, she let Maverick get on top and wanted to work her guard game. Don't lay on your back in an MMA fight. To all the jiu-jitsu guys out there that are fighting, girls and guys that are doing MMA, that jiu-jitsu is the base. That flip in your brain needs to be switched, or it is going to cost you decisions. Because you don't win fights from the bottom. And if you do, it's a rare occasion or a submission that perfectly works. Submissions from bottom in modern day MMA at a high level, UFC caliber shit, relatively low percentage. Miranda Maverick with a good win. Good decision for, remains amongst the top 17. Like, she's real close to the top 15. Maybe that Tracy Cortez fight, but I don't know. I feel like Cortez might get something bigger. I don't know what Maverick gets next, but still, good W nonetheless. Fight after that, this was our featured prelim of the night. Cody Gibson beat Brian Kelleher bad. He rocked him a little on the feet, subbed him up on the ground with the arm triangle. I've been saying it all week. I thought Kelleher was washed. I think Kelleher's time's done. And Cody Gibson was salivating at the thought of getting a win. Bro, he's got one UFC win, and wasn't it his damn debut? And he's what? Had 6 losses since then, I believe, in the UFC. 5 losses, one of the 2. Went to the finale on The Ultimate Fighter, lost there. Lost the fight against Miles Johns. Brian Kelleher was the perfect opponent for him to beat. Clear grappling advantage, used his size, bodied him up, locked in the arm triangle, secures a UFC victory for himself. And you got to be nothing but happy for Cody Gibson to finally get it right and get a win and stick around. And he looks like a mini Darren Till. You guys think that? Let me know in the comments. I think he looks like a mini Darren Till. Next fight on the card, it brings us to our main card opener. Make sure you guys smash the likes too if you're liking the vibe. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel as well. Hyder Amil, Ji-Yoon Lee. Okay. How do I put this without being a dick? Oh, wait. Sometimes I can't. This was a fight that if I saw it in the back of a fucking alley or in the middle of a bar, I would say, damn, that's a dope-ass street fight. Because these dudes are swinging chaos. This is not technical MMA. It's a dog fight. Yes, it's fun to watch. Absolutely, I enjoyed it. But that's not high-level MMA, bro. Hyder Amil is a savage. He put it on Lee, and he started swinging crazy. And Lee should have recognized, okay, don't engage in the brawl. Fight smart. This is MMA. This is not Slugfest Championship. This is not wild chaos for a minute. No. It's a high-level MMA fight in the UFC. We have 3 5-minute rounds to work. But that's not what Ji-Yoon Lee does. Ji-Yoon Lee just starts swinging back after he got cracked. He did crack Amil early. Lee caught him first. He caught Amil, and then Amil started cracking him. And then Lee's just swinging crazy. He gets rocked against the cage. The ref jumps in. Standing TKO, too, but he was completely out on his feet, and he sat down right after. The game plan was 0. You don't train to do that. It's awesome to watch. I have fun. It was dope. That's not what you train for, man. Ji-Yoon Lee shouldn't be sitting there brawling. Amil's a good brawler, and he's fun to watch, and it was a dope win for him. He's now 10-0 as a pro. He's a 34-year-old savage. He's one of the older prospects in the featherweight division. But yeah, very questionable fight IQ for Lee. Either way, good win for Amil to start the main card off. It was a dope fight. It was a sick back and forth. He got himself a performance of the night bonus. You better give him $50K for that chaos that ensued. Next fight, Choi, Bill Algeo. This fight made me happy. Choi knocked Bill Algeo out. First round starts. Algeo's on him with a bit of pressure. Choi lands a nice takedown, almost gets a submission, threatens with some guillotines. There's a couple of attempts that he goes for, and you're seeing like a new wrinkle of Choi's grappling game. But late in the first round, there was a spin elbow by Algeo that kind of rocked Choi a bit, and it was pretty menacing. Second round, Choi found his flow, found his rhythm, started landing some clean shots, had Algeo busted up, was stinging him with some jabs, was finding some straights, clearly had a speed advantage, which I was anticipating coming in, a big speed advantage. And that left hook really bothered Algeo's eye. He goes to the ground, turtles up, referee jumps in. There was no need for ground and pound. Fight was over. Algeo was done. His eye was bleeding bad, and I guess, I don't know, the punch hit him right in the eye, and he was like, I'm good. Choi hadn't won since 2016, so he hadn't gotten a win in this damn decade. Shout out to Choi getting it done. He's a UFC Hall of Famer in the fight wing. He's a Hall of Famer, though, nonetheless. And he looked damn good. I didn't think it was over for Choi. With a loss, it would have been. He would have been 0-4-1 in his last 5. It would have been done. But he had a little savage left. He gave a hellish good fight to Bill Algeo, and there leaves fun on the table. I like the Nate Landwehr fight. I like fights against dogs. I want wars for Choi because that's the chaos that he can deliver. Beating Bill Algeo was a must, and it made me very happy, especially, too, because I was on Team Choi all week. So, hell yeah to Choi. Next fight, Bruno Silva, Cody Durden. This fight was interesting because it looked as if Cody Durden had his number. First round, Durden's out striking him. First round, Durden's landing the cleaner shots. He's pressuring him as I popped his in back in the mouth. Second round, Durden's boxing him up. Durden's making him uncomfortable. Durden's pressure wrestling him. But I said it on the live stream right before the knockout. I had my John Anik moment. Bruno Silva doesn't break, man. He's got that dog in him. He keeps coming. And Bruno Silva lands an uppercut, knocks Durden's mouthpiece out, and finishes him off with ground and pound, which just set me on a chaos streak. That was awesome. My God, that was awesome. I was really happy to see it, because Bruno Silva is a dope dude, and I like his style. I like his flow. I think he's a pretty dangerous flyweight, and he's got legit knockout power. Durden was looking better than ever before, and he ends up getting chin. So respect to Bruno Silva with the comeback knockout. This was fucking performance of the night worthy, and of course, he ended up getting his $50K. He deserves it, and he now breaks into the rankings, which is an absolutely huge accolade. Breaking into those damn UFC rankings, top 15 now. Bruno Silva's in the higher echelon. You might see a fight between him and Charles Johnson next. I'm interested. I think that could be it. We'll see what ends up happening, but that wouldn't be far-fetched in my opinion. Good performance by Bruno. Next fight on the card, Kurt Holobaugh, Kruschewsky. This was a war. Surprised they didn't give it fight of the night honors. These two went after it in what was a pretty damn good scrap. Kruschewsky landed some big shots on the feet. Holobaugh ended up shutting Kruschewsky's eye. It was a solid back and forth. Kruschewsky had some takedowns. Kurt Holobaugh had the dog in him. Finished the fight on top. Kruschewsky was shooting for like ninja chokes and guillotines. Couldn't do it. Kruschewsky, new member of Fighting Nerds, is costing their record. Gives them a damn loss. They rarely lose. But Kurt Holobaugh's a savage. That's why. He outdogged Kruschewsky on the way to the 29-28. I thought he had him at the end, but Kruschewsky was all heart. Still swinging late in the fight when he looked completely gassed. But Holobaugh's a certified dog. And you know what you get with Holobaugh. It's nonstop. It's zero quit. It's zero break. It's savage mentality and dope entertainment. So respect to Holobaugh. His son, his like young 5-year-old son, was yelling like crazy for the entire fight. So you know he had to be ecstatic seeing his dad get a W. Like, you just had to root for him to get the win just because of that. Very happy for him. Next fight, Steve Garcia retires Seung Choi. I don't know if Choi decides to retire, but he probably should. I have some gripes to make, but first let me give my praise. Steve Garcia rocked him with a big overhand, pressured him. Seung Choi went down. He tried to swing crazy. He went to the floor. Garcia stops him. Big ground and pound. My only gripe with this shit is there was a lot of strikes that landed to the back of the head in that sequence of ground and pound. Now, I'm not saying disqualify him, but like we penalize back of the head shots sometimes, not others. There was at least like 4 or 5 shots that directly hit Seung Choi in the back of the head. I'm just worried about the safety of the athlete. Yeah, Choi was done. The ref could have jumped in sooner. The fight was over. Choi was turtling up. He didn't want to keep going. But those back of the head shots are life-changing shit, man. Look what happened to Pritchard Colon getting hit in the back of the head in boxing. So all I'm saying is there needs to be a cautionary tale. Steve Garcia is a badass, though. He called out Dan Ige after the fight. Good call out. He's going to get absolutely chinned by Dan Ige. Maybe they make that fight because he's Mexican and the Sphere card. But I just don't think Dan Ige willingness to fight Diego Lopez, one of the hottest prospects in the game, then gets sent back to fight Steve Garcia, who's a fun watch, but it's Steve Garcia, bro. There's a level difference. Come on. We don't need to sit here and fucking bullshit, do we? Come on. Good win, though. Steve Garcia, dope win. Dope win, badass performance, 4-fight win streak, all knockouts. How can you not be excited to see Steve Garcia fight next? I don't want to see Seung Choi fight again. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. So, Virna Jandiroba, Amanda Lemos. How did it go down? Well, did you watch my prediction video? I was pretty accurate. Submission win for Virna Jandiroba. Now, first round, the takedown lands effortlessly early. Now, there were some scrambles from Lemos, and it was good. Some leg lock attempts from both girls, specifically Jandiroba. Virna does finish the round strong, though, with some back control, looking to climb the back at the end of the first round. I gave the first round to Virna. There was like 2 strikes landed by Lemos. Nothing, really. Second round gets going. Lemos trying to find the range. Not a ton of striking moments. Jandiroba gets this fight to the floor. Again. But it's like Lemos is defending, ended up on top. Her takedown defense is there. There's crazy scrambles. How does the fight finish? Because Virna Jandiroba's jiu-jitsu back take, the roll under back take was absolutely magnificent. It was the most badass roll under I've seen in a very long time. Gets the body triangle, nearly has a rear naked choke. Unable to get it because Lemos is so good at defending. Switches to an arm bar. Lemos doesn't want to tap. Nearly snaps the arm of Amanda Lemos. Oh my God. Virna Jandiroba is somebody to be excited about. I don't know why we're not as excited about her. Because a jiu-jitsu ace that has submission finishing ability and transitional skills, reversal skills to that level gets me excited in a title fight against Weili. Because if they go to the damn floor, Virna Jandiroba is going to have the most sophisticated jiu-jitsu game that Weili Zhang has ever seen. Virna's in her prime right now. Best version of herself ever. I don't care about the number at 36. Her skill set has now been harvested. Her jiu-jitsu is elite. It's really amazing. And her striking game defensively is sound. And when you throw a strike and make a little mistake, she's going to take you down in control. And she's going to take her time with you, too. Virna doesn't rush the submission attempts. She's positional control, patiently working, patiently waiting to find the kill. She's a fucking python. Virna the Python Jandiroba. You better be excited about her because she could very well be in the title picture. I'm down to see her in a title fight. I don't know what the likelihood of Tatiana Suarez not being injured is. So if Suarez is out, I want to see Virna versus Weili. Let's see how Weili fares with somebody to this level of jiu-jitsu. Because on the ground, don't tell me Virna doesn't have a chance to sub her. She absolutely does. Beating Lemos by finish, not what Weili was able to do. She got her by decision. Super impressive accolade, badass performance, and a perfect prediction from me. I was honestly super happy. It's not that Amanda Lemos' ground skills haven't gotten better. She had sick reversals. I think this was the best grappling version of Amanda Lemos that we'd ever seen. But unfortunately for Amanda Lemos, it was also the most elite caliber grappler she'd ever faced, and a Virna Jandiroba who has consistently improved her skill set. What I love about Virna, too, she doesn't take a lot of striking risks to get knocked out with something stupid. She's waiting for you to make the mistake, for her to shoot. Not even a perfect takedown. As Cormier said, it's more of a tackle. Smother you up against the cage, work trip takedowns or back takes from there. 10 out of 10 performance, badass submission. Virna Jandiroba is a bad woman. Bad woman. That was the main event of the UFC. But let's be honest, that wasn't the main event of the evening. The main event of the evening was Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. Jake Paul won. I'm going to spoil it out the gate. If you didn't know, I mean, I said it at the beginning of the damn video. Of course you already knew. And I'm sure you have a phone or at least some type of internet access. You've seen that Jake Paul won by knockout. But I want to talk about how it happened. So, first round, you see a technical boxing advantage for Jake Paul is so evident. He gets a knockout in the first minute. Excuse me, a knockdown in the first minute. Granted, it was an off-balance knockdown, not a flash knockdown due to a rocking shot. It was just, he's a strong dude with a lot of weight. Perry was off balance. The shot landed. It put him on the canvas. Perry did get back up to his feet. Perry survived till the end of the round. Paul landed some clean shots, and it looked like Perry was a little wobbly in the first, and you're worried for Perry. Round two, Jake Paul calculated, picking his shots nicely, drops Mike Perry with a beautiful straight shot again. Mike Perry was hurt. Now, Mike Perry was gutsy towards the end of the round and had some moments on the feet as well. He looked good in round number 2 in the later stage. Jake Paul still wins that round, but Mike Perry landed some shots. He made Jake uncomfortable. I believe there may have been a headbutt, but that's okay. Happens sometimes. Round number 3, Mike Perry looked good. Round number 3, Mike Perry's in the fight. Round number 3, you're thinking Mike Perry's going to win and he's going to take over. He's hitting Jake Paul with big punches. Jake Paul looks visibly bothered, uncomfortable, unsure of himself, tired, fatiguing, slowing down. Mike Perry's walking him down, having big moments, and you're feeling a shift. It's like, oh my God, Mike Perry's going to win. And then Jake Paul comes out in round 4, and it looks like we somehow shifted back to round 2, and round 3 never happened. He starts outboxing Mike Perry again. A couple of punches for Perry, but nothing substantial, nothing significant, nothing major. From 4 on to 5, big shots are landing. Perry's getting rocked with jabs. His legs are jiggling and wobbling all over the damn place. And then in round 6, he's on Queer Street to Maine. Jake Paul sends him to the canvas, gets a knockout win. It was near the ropes, big combination, straight shot lands, rocks Perry, puts him down. If I'm mixing up the punch, it's because I was streaming for 8 damn hours. There's a lot of fights in my brain right now. Jake Paul gets a knockout. Big win for him. Mike Perry also at one point, I believe in the second round, landed a body lock trip takedown on Jake Paul to kind of prove it to him. Yeah, if we go to the ground, I'll fuck you up, bro. But Jake Paul did it. He took out another MMA fighter, another ex-UFC fighter. This time, though, a bare-knuckle champion. But I already knew that coming in. If you watch my prediction video, it was a perfect prediction. And that's not me being a cocky man, a cocky bastard, an arrogant effer. No. That's me telling you I already knew what was going to happen because Jake Paul is a technical boxer and Mike Perry is a bare-knuckle fighter, former UFC fighter, but a bare-knuckle fighter. Bare-knuckle boxing, the technique is not the same. The space without the gloves to land is different. Okay? The areas where you target is different. Having a risk of breaking your hands on every punch causes you to strike differently. It is not boxing. It is a different sport. Is it a more brutal sport? Both are brutal in their own ways, but more visibly brutal. Granted, Mike Perry looked like he did a bare-knuckle fight, which is much blood coming down from his damn face. But it's a different game. Mike Perry's the king of violence still in bare-knuckle, but this is boxing. And the sweet science is completely different. The technician wins in the sweet science. Technician with power, picks his shots beautifully, gets the win. That's exactly what Jake Paul did. He didn't expose the BKFC. Don't fall in that bullshit. BKFC dudes can still fight. And if you go on bare knuckle with Jake Paul, Mike Perry, I'm sure it's a different fight. I'm sure it's a different story because the bare knuckle game is completely different. Jake Paul still, though, had a tremendous boxing display of an evolving skill set, the way he works the body, the way he picks his shots going up high. Sure, he still has the same tendencies, that jab to the body followed by the big overhand. Everybody knows that's coming from Jake Paul. After the fight, Jake Paul set his sights on the Mike Tyson fight, November 15th. They're going to pick up Mike Tyson from the senior citizens home, the nursing home he's staying at. Mike Tyson's doing classes there in the swimming pool. I'm fucking around. Mike Tyson's still a bad motherfucker, but come on, man. You shouldn't be fighting a 57-year-old Mike Tyson. It's not like Joe Biden with that come on, man. Come on, man. But serious, though. Why? 57-year-old Tyson, stop. After he talked about Mike Tyson, who did he call out? Who did he call out? You don't know? Alex Poetan Pereira. That's insane to me. You know why he called out Alex Pereira? because he's trying to get people talking, trying to get people excited. He's trying to seem like he wants to fight one of the most terrifying strikers on the planet. But because Alex Pereira is in a lockjam UFC contract where I'm very unlikely, very unsure, very doubtful that he's getting out of it to go do a boxing match against Jake Paul. That's just not how it works, man. He's locked in with Dana White in the UFC, and he's going to be fighting in major fights for the world title. I doubt he's going to be jumping over to fight Jake Paul, who's taken out a lot of MMA fighters, but not a primed fighter, not a world champion. But it's the right call-out. It's a badass call-out. Jake Paul's getting ahead of himself. Alex Pereira will fuck him up. Alex Pereira is way bigger than him. Alex Pereira has terrifying knockout power. Alex Pereira spars on a regular basis with heavyweight boxers. Like Zhang, he's sparring with him, and Zhang's like, yo, we could do boxing at heavyweight. Jake Paul don't really want that fight. The reason he calls for it is because it makes it seem like, you know, he wants to take on the baddest mofos, but they're just unavailable. And he isn't going to be available. If somehow Dana White gave the green light for that, I think Jake Paul would probably shit his pants, bro. And I don't blame him, because I think that Alex Pereira is a monster. And he would be horrifying to fight against. Who the fuck would want to fight him? So, badass call out, though, by Jake Paul, but unrealistic. Still, huge win. What did we learn? Jake Paul can box. Bare knuckle fighting and boxing are not the same, which is something we should have already known beforehand. Mike Perry's tough as they come, and there's no question about it. Jake Paul beats somebody that's in their fighting prime. Still somebody smaller than him. Still a former welterweight that was fighting at 170. That's 5'10". But, bruh, I faced off with Mike Perry, and I'm 5'9". He was half an inch taller than me at best. I don't think he's 5'10". 71-inch reach, 76-inch reach. Welterweight versus a cruiserweight. Let's not make it out to be any falsehood. The reality is as such. And now he's going to fight a geriatric version of Mike Tyson. It's the shit show. It's all right, though. Because you know what? Entertainment sells, and he's getting a lot of entertainment. Listen, I want to review all of my picks for every fight. Jake Paul pick was a perfect prediction from me. I called it money 6th round, A tier. I had people tell me they followed the prediction and did exactly it for a bet. Congrats to them. Good shit. So got a win there. A win with Jandiroba over Lemos with a perfect main event prediction. Took a loss with the Choi Garcia fight because I got stupid on that one. Lost with Kruschewsky Holobaugh. It was a coin toss. I knew it was a coin flip going in. Won with Bruno Silva, confident pick on the card over Durden. Won with Choi, confident pick over Algeo. Lost with Lee over Amil, not a confident call. Won with a confident pick, Kelleher, with Gibson over Kelleher. Won with the lock, Maverick over Barbosa. Won with a good underdog, Ogden over Radzhabov. Won with a confident pick, Luana, Carolina, Lucie, Pudilová, and then lost with Mr. 50-50, Mo Usman and Thomas Petersen. So overall, 8 wins, 4 losses on the night, 5-0 on my most confident picks. That's something I got to be happy about. Oh, quick note. Ashton Sylve was brutally knocked out in vicious fashion in this fight on the card against Lucas Body. If you haven't seen that knockout yet, it was one of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen in boxing. And Ashton Sylve was winning 6 rounds and, pretty much 5 rounds in 2 minutes and 15 seconds until his hands are low, right? Because that low hand style, he's too close. He's in that red zone, straight shot by Body, right? Silva's a little rocked. He doesn't bring his guard up, keeps the hands low, tries to throw an uppercut, crack with another straight out on his feet, big hook, flat on his face. One of the most vicious knockouts I've seen across combat sports ever, and it deserves a shout out. Hopefully Ashton Sylve is okay as well. And Amanda Serrano's a bad woman. Overall, pretty fun night of fights. I enjoyed the hell out of myself. I mean, I was live streaming for 8 hours, so you guys know I enjoyed the hell out of myself, and I'm still filled with energy at almost 2 in the damn morning when I woke up at 8 a.m. yesterday. So things are pretty good for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for supporting. Hit 34,000 subscribers, 34,100 on the way, baby. Thank you guys. You're tremendous. I appreciate each and every one of you. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe it up. And let me know what you thought of all the fights in the comments down below. I want to hear your thoughts. Much love to my people and daily content coming. So I'll see you all week long. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.